On February 13, 2025, President Donald Trump issued an executive order establishing the Make America Healthy Again Commission, chaired by Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. This commission aims to combat the growing crisis of chronic disease in the United States, particularly among children. The executive order tackles a wide spectrum of issues, from unhealthy diets and chemical exposures to potential environmental triggers. However, the inclusion of electromagnetic or wireless radiation as one such potential contributing cause to childhood chronic disease is making waves among public health advocates who have long sought federal attention to this issue. Why this executive order is a game changer. For years, the health impacts of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation, such as cell tower signals, Wi-Fi routers, and other wireless devices, have been largely overlooked by federal agencies, especially since the National Toxicology Program, or NTP, had its funding halted last year. By explicitly mentioning electromagnetic radiation in the same breath as other recognized factors like diet, environmental chemicals, and lifestyle, the White House is signaling that RF or radio frequency and EMF research could be revived and taken seriously at the federal level. Key points of significance. Government acknowledgement. It's possibly the first time an official White House order has so publicly recognized the need to examine wireless radiation. High-profile oversight. With RFK Jr. at the helm of HHS, the Commission's mission to probe EMFs gains credibility and momentum. Reversal of past inertia. The halting of NTP research left critical questions about RF exposure unanswered. This executive order could pave the way for renewed studies. Key provisions of Make America Healthy Again. Section 4, Fighting Childhood Chronic Disease. Among the Commission's initial tasks is to study the scope of the childhood chronic disease crisis and any potential contributing causes, including electromagnetic radiation. It also mandates transparent, fact-based information, recommending how to inform the American public about childhood chronic diseases, government-wide recommendations, crafting policy strategies that address root causes, from diet and lifestyle to potential EMF exposures. Why it matters. Electromagnetic radiation under the microscope. While most U.S. FCC guidelines revolve around thermal exposure limits, emerging research from around the globe, including the now-suspended NTP studies, suggests that non-thermal biological effects, like DNA damage, oxidative stress, and disruptions to the blood-brain barrier, may pose significant health risks. Highlighting EMF in a federal initiative does the following. Signals new priorities. The Commission could recommend further large-scale or gold standard studies, invites cross-agency collaboration entities such as the EPA, CDC, and NIH, may join forces with the FDA and FCC to reassess and modernize safety guidelines. Opportunity for public input town halls, open comment periods, or expert roundtables might emerge, offering a platform for EMF safety advocates. How RFK Jr. and HHS could spur EMF research. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has long championed transparency and robust science. As HHS Secretary, he can reinstate or expand NTP studies. Aligning with the Commission's directive to address childhood chronic disease, he could push to revive the research pipeline halted last year, prioritize independent, peer-reviewed projects, encourage agencies like NIH to fund investigations into non-thermal EMF effects on children's development, autoimmune disorders, and neurological health. Coordinate cross-agency efforts. By working with the FCC, EPA, and others, HHS can help unify standards and close regulatory gaps on RF emissions. With President Trump's signature on the executive order, any newly recommended EMF studies or guidelines stand a better chance of being implemented at scale. What's next for the EMF safety community? For advocates who have spent years warning about unexamined risks from Wi-Fi, cell towers, and 5G, a seat at the table. There may now be formal avenues, commission hearings, or public comment periods to bring forward research and testimonials on EMF hazards, potential for new safety guidelines. If the Commission's work confirms significant health implications, It could lead to updated exposure limits or stricter regulations around children's environments. Increased public awareness. Media coverage of the Commission's findings could spur parents and communities to ask more questions about the devices and networks surrounding them. A possible turning point. By explicitly naming electromagnetic radiation as a factor in childhood chronic disease, this presidential order marks a step toward transparency and rigorous inquiry. With RFK Jr. at the helm of HHS, coupled with President Trump's stated commitment to tackling health crises, the stage is set for a potential revival of EMF research in the United States. Will this lead to the reinstatement of NTP studies or the development of new large-scale investigations? Could we finally see a comprehensive, gold standard approach to understanding how wireless exposure intersects with the epidemic of chronic illnesses plaguing American children? Time will tell, but one thing is certain: the EMF safety community has reason to be cautiously optimistic. For now, all eyes are on the Make America Healthy Again Commission, awaiting signs that the federal government is ready to confront this long-neglected issue and prioritize the health of its youngest citizens. Visit RF Safe to learn more.